Are we live? All right, and it appears we are live. What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Drew, here to welcome you to another episode of the Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 137. I'm going to continue doing some more concept art for this character slash prop over here. The reason why I call it a character prop is, one, it operates something like a character, just as a focus and having this humanoid form, but really it is a battle robot. So, it's something that needs to be piloted, so it makes it more of a prop. But it's kind of like, I don't know, would you say like the Power Rangers are clearly characters, but then when they create the Megazord or something like that, would you say that the Megazord is a character? Or would you say it's more of a prop? You know what I mean? And I'm sure the argument goes one way or another. I mean, the way that I feel about it is it's probably more of a prop than it is a character. I should probably be calling this prop concept art. And, it is what it is, but it's not a prop as in like a vase or a lamp or, even a vehicle. Like maybe this is more vehicle concept art where, vehicles are still something like a prop. But either way, I just wanted to do another piece to kind of get some more ideas out about this guy. I think we're kind of getting it that, okay, he's very gold and golden. He works with fire in some sort of capacity, some sort of heat weapons, and those work on his body and his person somehow. And I'm kind of happy with the colors that I established here on this third one. So just working with those. This is just some inking that I did. It doesn't really represent the color scheme. But yeah, that was just for some other stream. And yeah, this is the one I worked on most recently. So yeah, the colors are really coming together and working nicely. And I'm starting to get some more ideas with things because with how I want to render things out. Again, I took 5 years off from doing art in order to do, let me adjust this camera. And let me pause that. Okay, so the camera's adjusted. Cool. So I took 5 years off of art so I can write a story, and that's what all this concept art is for. It's to actually conceptualize everything that I wrote and, to make sure that I could actually do it, so that way by the time I get to writing the actual scripts and stories and things like that, everything kind of comes together neatly and nicely, and I'm getting all the hard thinking parts out of the way now. And as a part of that, working on all these things is just getting the ideas out. So that's what all of this is. It's just ideas that I want to get out and get done. So that way, when I go back to once I'm writing the script, I just look at these ideas and boom, I should be able, hopefully, if my brain's working and if I'm any good at this, I'll be, I could be able to focus on writing the script more so than worrying about the characters or the props or the environments or anything like that. That's the whole point of concept art. And yeah, so this is just one of the stages in the whole process. And yeah, today I wanted to do a piece that focused on the pilot. There's a whole story behind this here prop character thing, but really within the story that we only see one pilot, I believe. So I want to just kind of, this is almost a little bit of a spoiler and me getting ahead of myself of working on a character that I didn't want to work on yet, but this character does pilot this robot. So it's been a part of the interesting part as far as like drawing these poses here. Those three poses specifically as I was working on these pieces was because I was like, oh yeah, he would. If this guy was piloting it, this machine would work this way, not in the way that I originally thought, which is good because that's what I mean about getting the ideas out, um, before it's too late, and then I'm struggling to backtrack or anything like that. So that's part of the it's one of the good parts of working on concept art. Um, so yeah, man, that's basically it. Is I'm going to do a piece with the pilot, um, and hopefully it kind of piques people's interest in like, oh shit, I want to know about this pilot now, and it's like, all right, I'll get around to him. Uh, but I really don't have much to talk about these days. Just, Resident Evil Village came out. I'd love to talk about it, but, talking about that while working on this is going to be a problem. And, it's going to be doing two things at once and probably delay the stream. My goal with these streams are to do them faster. I know these long-winded introductions that I do are kind of contrary to that. It's like, come on, Drew, just get to the drawing, right? So certainly I want to do that, but also I like to set up what it is that I'm listening to in the background, so anybody who happens to be watching this can at least be caught up with what I'm listening to because I can't listen to music as much as I'd love to. If I just had music playing, I would just play music and not even do an intro. I would just be drawing and music would be playing in the background, and who cares what I'm working on, right? Like just watch me draw and listen to some cool shit. But I watch a lot of podcasts and watch a bunch of other artists work on their stuff. And what I have in the background right now is David Finch's first painting stream, and it's already an hour in, but it's a 4.5 hour long video. So there's another 3.5 hours of them working on this painting video, and really all that they've done. And just to catch you up with the previous hour, they already had some pencil drawing or a pencil sketch done before they started the video, and they're doing it based off of certain artists. The way that they're painting, they don't list it here. Uh, they're using a technique of another artist. They said it in the beginning of the video, but I forget the artist name. It's like Olveda, something like that. Um, Oliveira. I don't know. But either way, and the way what they've done so far was take their sketches and finalize the pencil drawing, and then really loosely, they didn't do details or anything like that, and then they went over them with black color pencil, which is interesting because at the top of it they were like, yeah, we use color pencils and acrylic paints for this painting session. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. They probably do pencils for base and then paint on top of it. So that way they have a guide. So the pencils, either way, it was like, let me watch it. Let me see what they're talking about. This is why I like to watch these things, is to learn. And yeah, I do watercolor painting and I have done acrylic painting, but acrylic was always just to go on top of everything after I do like pencils, markers, inks, paint markers, things like that. Then I like to do acrylics just in case, or airbrushing or anything else like that. It's always mixed media and it's always like just trying to figure out things. So this is actually going to be interesting because I've seen the finished results already, and the finished results are fantastic. To the Captain Americas that they're painting, they're both doing Captain America, their own, and yeah, so it's interesting to watch it. So in the first hour, they did the pencil drawing, they did black color pencil, and they fully rendered it out like black and white drawing with the black color pencil, and they've just laid down a base of acrylic, which I'm guessing is a very watered or diluted red or brown color. Looks like a really light skin tone, almost like my skin tone kind of color. And they just kind of did broad strokes over the entire drawing. So say this was a Captain America or something, they just went just kind of did it like how I had these squares that I draw my little drawings in, sticky note size squares that I draw in. Yeah, they just bump, bump, bump. So they had this beautiful black and white ink drawing or black and white color pencil drawing, and then they just threw this really diluted, uh, I'm guessing acrylic reddish brownish color, kind of skin tonish color over it. And now I guess they're going to start, proceed with the actual painting. And that's where we're at within the video. So yeah, that's gets you caught up, and I'm going to stop talking and just start drawing this character and have fun watching me struggle with that. Okay, get that going.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but he actually used a very stark red as a background. Yeah. And what it did was punch the shadows out as red, and it just looked amazing. So yeah, you can use any wash you want. Something else that a wash does for you is when you're painting color against a white background, it's very hard to really tell where you're at in terms of tonality and color.
Okay.
And just painting against this just adds that contrast that your eye needs to pick out that image properly.
Tim Adams says, with this technique work with ink instead of pencil, it absolutely would. You want to make sure you use a waterproof ink. The one thing that you wouldn't get is this kind of gradation, and that's actually what I really want from this. The idea for me is to be able to paint my tones down, and then just be able to bring up the lights, and my shadows just naturally fall into place. So that's why I like this more than ink. But ink would certainly work. And again, all of my favorite painters, Simon Bisley and all these guys, they've all done it beautifully. So.
There's something up with this brush. It's killing me.
Well, the good news is you won't have to use it too much.
Yeah, it's adding these horrible streaks. Driving me nuts.
Adds can add character to it.
Yeah, work with the problems, right?
Omnicon says if you want the ink down and produce values the same. Absolutely true, yes. I'm not good with that, so I don't do it. If you can do that, and there are, obviously you do that beautifully, then yeah, for sure, it would totally work.
All right, let me center this a little bit better. There we go.
Here comes the bucket. Favorite part. All right.
Good?
I think so.
Okay. So, I'm going to dab this down so it doesn't get in my way. And
Yeah, so this is where you put your matte medium.
right. And so I've got ultramarine blue. Hold on. It's gonna get caught. Blue.
So what you want to do in this stage is get your matte medium ready. Mix your acrylic paint with the matte medium. What will happen is it'll naturally become very translucent, which is exactly what you want. You want your wash, you want your pencil to you want to see that through your glaze, and you can do as many glazes as you want. But basically, you want it translucent so that you can.
Man, I'd love to paint on this channel one day. I've did one watercolor painting.
See where you're going, see where you've been, just get that tonality down.
And I've been trying to think of ways to be able to do it a little bit more often.
The paint?
No, your medium.
Or even just painting on this sketchbook like I told myself I wouldn't.
Now, my phthalo blue is actually a liquid paint. It's all I have in phthalo blue. And again, I couldn't get paint. It does not matter because you ultimately are going to work out your consistency here anyway. So whatever kind of paint, it really doesn't actually matter that much. So I'm going to take a little bit of blue. Phthalo blue is very, very strong. And I'm going to kill it down with too much black. And this is where I like to be able, and actually that's kind of getting closer to where I want to be. I'm going to take my matte medium, and it'll extend it out. want it to be really dark and muted. I don't want my blue to be very strong. A little bit more water. And I think I'm pretty good there. And so now, try and find room on my desk. I'm going to go ahead and just start throwing this in. A little more water.
Right. And again, you do want your brush a little bit damp for this. You don't want to rely just on medium. That just helps load your brush better.
Yeah, I use more water than medium easily, for sure.
And be careful shaking your medium. You can add some bubbles in there.
And I'm kind of losing my lines here and there. It's fine. I'm not really too worried about being really, really clean with this because I can clean it all up later and just fix things that I don't. So you can see how it's really bringing it together into a bit of a total painting already. And I mean, this calling this a painting is, generous.
Holy shit.
This is just a couple of washes.
You know, I look away for a little bit. Finch is already getting the blue in. Finch has been working a lot faster than the other guy is also in this video. Not like talking shit or anything, but just like calling it out. Like the other guy's just now getting his blues in, but Finch has already got pretty much most of Cap's blue covered.
That's a little bit too big. Nice thing about the Fulbert, not even if I'm pronouncing it right, is you can just hold it to the side and get a nice thin line.
Yeah.
I have a paper holding up there.
That's fine.
I just buckled it so bad.
Okay, absolutely fine. But you always put it under a heavy book.
Yeah. Feels like I'm painting over hills.
So what
Speed runs.
I'm having to get my paint, my medium, and everything. I'm having to just make some more paint the exact same way.
How did I do this? Okay. See, I'm looking at his hands here.
Sketching with a paintbrush.
See, so I drew these giant knuckle things, but then these divots in between the knuckles. And then, yeah, like these things were kind of like bulging out from the fingers. So it's kind of just drawing all that.
And as I go along, I
Okay.
kind of want this actually just a little bit darker. You have to be very careful about going a second layer on top of a wash. It can really, really cause problems.
Yeah, so yeah, brings up a good point. You want to be very careful in having your paint dry 100% before you start adding other layers. If the binder or the acrylic medium hasn't dried properly, you can pull little pits out of your paint or out of the glaze, and it gets very, very difficult to fill in later. So you definitely want to make sure that you're dry.
Yeah, I've never in my life done a painting where I haven't done that at least 5 times.
Yeah, that happens with.
So,
Yeah, the last section that happened, that totally messed me up.
Yeah.
The rest of the paint, I could not fix the problem.
Yeah.
Which in some cases can add character, but I mean, really, it's not something you want to desire for.
And so I'm a little bit blotchy when I look at this here, but I'm not too worried about that because again, this is just my base layer. Daniel Castelli has a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. And he says, "Why don't you stretch the paper?" I should. I know that I should. And it really is kind of step one to put it on tape. Part of that is
Stretch the paper.
I keep forgetting. And part of it is I've done this a bunch of times. I find that I can just put it under a heavy book for, overnight and it kind of flattens out. So I don't worry about it too much.
That'll pick Adreno's a joker. Eric's painting really has the Olivetti flavor already. Knows or.
Yeah, it really does. Look at that. It's looking great. All right.
There's one thing about Olivetti is, I mean, the speed at which he does this is just inhuman. It's really something to see.
Yeah, it really is. All right, I'm gonna go with another layer on here just to kind of end.
I'm gonna switch brushes here. This is too big. You know what? No.
Maybe I can't see this top part of the box.
You know what? This is such a mistake. I'm gonna end up making a mess because I'm wanting to darken down on blue and I didn't wait for it to dry really. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give that a minute. I'm gonna go on to.
Okay, let me do this.
Another thing I'm gonna do is shove my head under the camera. So painting a weird angle over here.
All right, GTSR says let the backside of the paper go straight out. Yeah, that's true. All right, so this is my pyro red, which is just my makeshift red because I don't have cadmium. And so I'm gonna do the same thing with it. I've got my red. I want this to be very muted and dark, and so I'm gonna lay out a little bit here. Lay out some black. That's already. Look at how muted that gets already. That's very, very dark. That might be actually even a little bit too much. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more red, and now I'm gonna add some medium. There's actually a little bit of blue paint in my medium. I'm alright with that though because if it shifts toward blue, that cools it, and when it goes up toward more of a warm red, I don't think that'd be a bad thing at all. And that seems like a pretty good consistency. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start to throw in my ends.
So that problem happened over here. So the lack of painting, it's gonna be a struggle there. Wouldn't hot press watercolor paper be better for this sort of thing instead? Probably.
No,
No?
no, because it's not as good to draw on. I don't think. I want to do, but I want a Bristol surface. I really don't want a heavily toothed watercolor surface. And you know, this just depends on what kind of final look you're looking for, and that's just not what I'm looking for. So, yeah, it would certainly work. It's just not the look that I'm trying to get.
So I will say that already in the spot where I could probably even add some more black pencil, because I'm kind of losing my values here. So, I mean, seriously, feel free to do that between, how many layers you need. It really helps.
Yeah, see, Finch is already putting on the red.
You don't want to lose your values at this stage and then try to get them back later.
Well, the other guy's still working on blue.
Yeah. Reviewed it. Has a screwdriver $5. Thank you so much.
He's talking about losing his pencils, but he drew his pencils in very lightly.
Mark, I have actually been, yes.
Where Finch drew them in damn near black. Now with the watercolor going over it, it kind of makes sense.
They tee up every joke. You say two words and then they make it fun.
Interesting.
I had a great time. I would definitely do it again. We actually did it live at a convention in front of an audience. A lot of fun. And I keep my brush handle is so much longer than a pencil. I keep catching my microphone with it. I think that's it for red, right? Mine, there's no other red spots, is there?
His nose, no, I'm kidding.
What color is it, though?
Brown?
Yeah, okay. Alright. So, I already have a bit of a skin tone. And I'm going to darken yeah, I've got a slightly bluish gray.
Fix this leg a little bit. It's
And I
jutting,
fairly like
jutting a
this
little
because
far out there.
it's white. I don't
Keep
wanna
it in the
hide
palm
everything. I
of
can
the
always rotate
robot,
it
right?
a little bit more if I want to. I feel like it'll work better.
There we go. Makes it look a little bit better. Let me see. There we go. All right. There we go. Now I'm starting to get the perspective a little bit better. Bring
Getting
it.
a little bit too thin.
There we go. Yeah, I had his legs way too far apart. I felt like it was when I started drawing it, but I was like, nah, he's just standing with an extreme stance. Nah. Nah. It was too much.
$5 super chat. Thank you so much, Daniel, again. I really appreciate it. And he says, have you tried Strathmore heavyweight mixed media boards that have a valid finish and much quicker than Bristol? I haven't, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of Strathmore, so I'm 100% sure that I would really like them.
You can just like anything red here, just to let this dry a bit more.
All right.
Okay, so yeah.
I'm going to let mine dry for just a minute while you kind of catch up just a little bit there. That looks really great, though. It's very, very dimensional. You can see I actually used my hand because it was getting too thick. I blotted it out. So I've got a mess that I'm going to have to deal with. But I never worry about this too much because I can fix it. Al Pacino says, Dave, are you going to add the highlights later? Or you're leaving certain parts unpainted to indicate the highlights? No, absolutely not. I'm going to add the highlights later. So where it's a real mess, and this is why, first of all, I'm a lazy artist, you know, but also I know that I'll be really finishing this out quite a bit from here, so I don't want to really drive myself completely out of my mind trying to make this perfect when this is really just my base layer. And this is where I think that the more experienced and better you are at painting, the better this layer would be. Like Eric, you have this really down to it's very perfected. And you actually, when we painted last week, Eric finished quite a bit earlier than me, and that was why I had to fight with my painting a lot more. And I just ended, I'm so impatient. So.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, yeah, I mean, going live as I'm going, I struggle later on. I think I get to a point where I'm kind of locked out of the process. So that's maybe what happened last week. Is it just, I'm just not going dark enough. It's just an ongoing problem. But I think when you go that dark, it's just, you just have so much more room to breathe. Yes, I think the last session was just me kind of locking myself down. I was trapped, painted myself into a corner, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think every painting, every piece of work that you do is going to be that way to a certain extent, They never turn out perfect, so. Okay, so I just took my burnt sienna, I just did it kind of off camera here, but I took my burnt sienna, I mixed it with black. Here it is. So burnt sienna, I put a little black in it, it was too black, I put a little more burnt sienna, I put in a little bit medium, and it's mostly water still. I use a lot more water than medium, and I'm just going to throw in his palette.
So for those using cadmium red light, if you want to darken the color of it, just add some alizarin crimson. It does a real good job as a glaze over what you have. And that should darken your reds for you. You'll notice what I'm putting down looks kind of orange, but That'll get fixed later on. I definitely want to say thanks to David too, because I was a problem that I was having is I was color chasing. I was always trying to find that right color.
Okay.
You go to the store, you realize you don't have a certain color, you purchase that one, it doesn't give you the results you need, and you keep color chasing, looking for that perfect color. Well, the colors that David recommended are really it's really all you need. You'll get better at mixing and getting that tonality that you want just for the few little recipes.
So I want to mention that I'm gonna do my base color for my skin tone, and that's it right there. It's the same color that I just used here for the belt, and that's just burnt sienna with
There
black.
we go. That's what I needed.
Obviously,
Trying to
it's
make
more
this make
burnt sienna than
sense.
black. And so I took that same mixture and I just added red.
Probably looks like a bunch of noise.
And I brought it out here and I got something that is more red, and that's just like red. So, and that's should give me something that will work well as a good, nice, warm.
Go back to my character reference.
What I don't want is something that's too saturated. I want it to be, fairly dark. Well, basically like this. Is kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, the colors you can work with in, sorry.
Well, right over your eyes.
Yes.
It's much better painting if you paint over your eyes and then bring them out later, because eyes tend to be in paintings way too light.
Yeah, you don't want white eyeballs. I mean, you can look at people around you. Your eyeballs pick up ambient light, ambient color, and they're never pure white.
Yeah, I notice my eyes always look best when there's color in the eyes, and then you throw that white highlight into them, and then they look so much better. For instance, they were just talking about eyes not being white, like this guy. You can see they're slightly bluish, and then that white highlight that goes in there, like really pops out because the eyes are no longer white. Another character, you can see. Let's focus. Is Chopper. I just threw some gray into him, and then it makes the white pop out so much more. But yeah, so the eyes aren't perfectly white. Where's that other character at? Even like these. Let me hold it still. You can see it more so in this picture. They're slightly pinkish. And yeah, that highlight really pops against that really light color background, but it's not white. You know what I mean? Only the highlight is white. And it makes things look a lot nicer, So yeah, it's definitely true. But yeah, you can see even a little bit in here, the difference between the white highlight and the color of the eye. Just the eyes are so small.
You don't just have to use black. You can use whatever colors you want, especially for highlights. Not just prohibited to using.
Either way.
RickU.com says at this stage they look like wood burning projects. Very warm tone so far. Yeah, absolutely. They really do. And I will say, Ariel Olivetti's work at this stage.
Ariel Olivetti. That's the name that they were talking about before. That I couldn't remember. Well, that's good to know.
I'd say for him at this point, it's just like breathing. It's just so natural to him.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who purchased his course, you'll just notice how fluid everything is for him. Mixing his paints and everything is just so second nature. It's just putting those reps in, doing as many paintings as you can. And failure is the best way to learn. So,
And unfortunately, like, my whole painting process is it's like a brute force method where I don't know what I'm doing. I just keep going until I finally make it work, or I just walk away in shame, So.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Everything I do is brute force method. I just force it to work. I have no idea what I'm working on right now. Like, it's just like, all right, I hope this works out. I'm just gonna keep drawing until it works. You know, like I had the plan of like drawing this guy within a giant hand of the machine, but it's like I don't know. Like I'm looking at reference images. Oh, like let me pause this for a second, cause just in case they talk. Like, for instance, because I like to give uh, shout out or whatever, a focus on what I'm working on or working from. So like, I don't know if we're focused or not. I know it's a phone screen, but like the machine that I've been working on has been like referenced by these drawings here. And now this character that I'm working on today is more so of like, here's a picture of a few of these characters that, this being the one that I'm working on today, but he's from like all these characters here. But like, here's a picture of him. Draw out the name. You can see I have like other characters within my sketchbooks. Was it? Yeah, see? Like, I don't really like to show all this stuff. But yeah, this is like the character that I'm working on down here is this super 80s rock and roll looking guy. Almost like a... So it's like, okay, like these are the references that I work from. And yeah. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, always looking at skull references. Always looking at anatomy references. I don't think that really has anything to do with what I'm doing now. I just really like those breakdowns, so I keep those references. I should probably email them to myself and then throw them on my computer or something. But yeah, like that little punk rock 80s looking guy is who I'm trying to draw here. And, other than those couple of sketches you just saw, I don't have any more work of this guy. So it's kind of like, you that's what I mean by this is kind of like just forcing things to work, because it's like, all right, I got to make that guy work within this drawing, or else, you know what I mean? Like, or else this is a big fail. So, you know, hopefully this sheds a little bit more light on this robot, but also kind of brings in like, holy shit, this is the guy who's piloting this robot. What the, like, like that's kind of what I'm going for. Either way, let me let the video play. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta force your work.
I'll switch to blue again and come back. So yeah, I will say that red probably gives me the most amount of trouble. There's just something about that color. Hue shifting with red is really strange. And in whites, you can make red pink, so you need to be very, very careful when hue shifting. The alizarin crimson is definitely a good way to knock it down. And what I might do here, Dave, is leave this orange and do the alizarin crimson around it to see what happens.
Yeah. Jason Kimball says, who is the artist they reference for this method again? Olivetti? It's Ariel Olivetti. He is a longtime Marvel and DC artist. He does a lot of digital painting, and he's for years and years done a lot of traditional painting, and he has a course on, I forget every time.
Domestica.
Domestica. It's all in Spanish, but it's got the subtitles.
Let me see if I can paste that here. Oh, yeah, it's in my clipboard, so let me paste it here. Paste it in the chat. Okay, that works. Wait, hold on. I'm not in this stuff.
El Padrino says, Ariel Olivetti, Argentinian artist. I did not know he was Argentinian. I did not, but quickly. Yeah. So is it... Okay, this is so going to reveal my complete lack of understanding of the entire world, but is...
Argentina in South or Central America?
Spanish? Or is it... No,
No.
Yes. Argentina, Spanish.
Okay.
Oh, Spanish or Portuguese? That was his question. Okay. Well, yeah, Brazil's the only real Portuguese country
The Art Jedi says,
in the Americas.
did you know that Jazz used to be a painter before he got into comics? Super cool. I did not know that. I'm so not surprised though. And PJ May draws says Spanish. So yes, thank you. And German. And El Pavino says, yes, Spanish, but they have kind of a weird accent. So there you go. So like they're like English people.
Yeah, a friend of mine, and she'll be watching as well. She's Spanish speaking. She's from Mexico, or her family is at least. And she actually helped me translate some of Ariel Olivetti's videos because I was so interested in learning his process. And she mentioned that his accent is very different. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's like an Irish accent, for instance. You know,
Right.
difficult to understand. If you're not from there.
It's all Greek to me.
Yep.
And pro tip for those who want to get his course, those of you who are English speaking only, if you use Chrome, you can auto translate the pages, so you can at least navigate domestically nicely. The first time I tried that was an absolute failure.
I managed to do it. I think I just lucked out because I couldn't read anything, but I hit the buttons that seemed most likely to be the right button, and it worked. So
Good.
Ferris Jabbar says, Dave, any chance you can publish a painting comics work in hardcover in the European mode? One extensive, long comics project painting. Fingers crossed. Thanks. Incredible work and multi-talented. Thank you so much, Ferris. I would love to. I would absolutely love to. It's really very much a matter of
Time.
I've got projects that I've been working on for quite a while right now. I've always got plans for things, and
Yeah. Never enough time.
I would love to do it though. Pablo Romero Art says, what people think is the Argentinian accent is the Buenos Aires accent that has some Italian in it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, hey, El Pavino says, Dave, if you need help with the translations, just give me a call. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is why coming online is so great. You know? So I can see already. I went too dark on his stomach in the white part here, and that's going to present problems for sure.
Okay, so from the inside to the outside.
Because it's white, I don't want it to. So, you know, and this is where I think if I did 10 of these, that wouldn't happen. But as it is, One Million Yard has a super sticker. Well, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Ellie Jaw says, David, amazing man. Whatever you do, I just love your work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Art Jedi says, the Finch Block is the most wholesome community around. Absolutely. No, I think there's a place for all kinds of different discussion, but I want this channel to be about art, and I want it to be for everyone. That, you know, and so that's what it is.
Hell yeah.
Dragon Horse says Eric looks like 26-year-old Captain. Dave looks like 40-year-old Captain that's ready to pass on the shield. Ferris Jabbar says, Dave, how do you get the three-dimensional look on the painted head last week? Well, we'll get there. This is stage one, and from here, I've got my pencil ready to go. I'm waiting for Eric right now.
He's waiting for me. I'm trying.
And actually, it's fine, Eric, because it really gives me a chance to read the chat.
Sure.
I never get to do this. I'm always drawing, so kind of enjoy it.
Just go over the orange one more. Hopefully, my Alizarin Crimson will bail me out of here.
Yep. Fiction's nasty. Says I just looked up some of Ariel's paintings that really are amazing. They really, really are. And you know, I'd say, yeah, if you're curious, just do a Google search and look up some of his paintings because he is incredible.
Ariel Olivetti. I'm not familiar with him. I'll look it up. Why not? It's a part of my stream, right?
I was so happy when you decided to release a course on it.
Ariel
So excited to see
Olive.
Right. And both of so excited to do this. This is not any kind of a, we're not advertising this course or anything like that. I have no connection whatsoever to it, but I'm a huge fan of work. And the fact that he put out an actual, I've been searching for
Okay, that's how you spell it.
years, and I know you have
Arial
it was a big deal.
Olivetti.
We've been playing with it now. I was excited to play this with you guys.
Painting. Just his
And I
painting,
know I've
more
said this a few
specific.
times since we started, but this really is a bit of an exploration.
Apparently, he does a bunch of stuff.
Would not be
So yeah, this is the artist that they're taking their
tutorial video, like,
painting tutorial from and kind of streaming.
not an expert.
So this is the source guy, which this shit is dope, man.
Now that I'm dry,
Hell yeah.
I want to see if I can.
So
I dab my hand over it a couple places, and you can see how I really kind of deep for it there, right?
wow.
Yeah, for some reason, it seems to be drawing closer than it had before.
There's it. On my
Yeah, I thought I would play on this glove.
Yeah, I definitely seen that
Acrylic off, so.
Omega Red before.
What's going on with you as well?
No, I went too thick with it. I went too heavy, and
Wow.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Okay.
fix it, and this is what happens. And this is what.
Hell yeah, man. I dig it.
Go on here,
So yeah, I'm watching them practice what this guy does, and
my
then
initial area just gets even
you know,
worse, and I'm getting
I'll absorb it,
darker.
and maybe one day when
Cannot get it to
when
match
I
up.
live stream some
Do a beautiful wash painting.
acrylic painting.
The level of control you have to have. I'm not worried about this.
Let's hope I do something
This is stage one.
something close.
Whatever, stage 3. It's a stage, so it'll be okay. This is exactly what happened to me last week, Eric. Do you remember? And actually, even worse. So this is the painting from last week, and this whole area in here, this whole hand was so dark on the screen you couldn't even see it. It was just gone, and yeah, I can just basically go in and pick things out. It's like an Elvis painting on velvet. It just worked pretty well. So I know any place where I go really dark like that, it's easy enough for me to fix it.
I'm sure I speak for everyone. That piece is just absolutely amazing. Pretty sure people would like to see a course on that.
You know what? One of these days, if I figure out what I'm doing just a little bit better, I would love to do it. Absolutely. It's just, I kind of want to get a little more qualified. I feel qualified to do this for the channel only because I wanted to do this because it'd be fun. You know? This is not really a tutorial. We're explaining exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. But yeah, it's an exploration.
So I haven't even started on his face. I should probably do that and let everything else dry. And then I'm going to darken with pencil and go over once more.
At wanted 78 says, Dave, if you're impatient with the drying time, use a hair dryer on it, bud.
I think it'll blow everyone's ears off here.
Okay, there's that, but and I do have again.
That's what I did
Who knows? I've got one.
back when I painted.
And if I would have
Get a blow dryer.
yeah, I'd probably
That shit
do it, but,
speeds it up.
It'd
you
be
know,
funny if I just pull it out and start using it.
But yeah, on the stream that shit would be loud.
It won't really be in the stream. Alright, so Dave's secret recipe for the skin tone.
Steve.com says, sorry, I'm sure a little bit ago. I wonder how this method would work with ink pens because each layer can be made stable with a hair dryer. I don't know.
So David, you said for the face it was burnt sienna, a little bit of black and white, right? And then a yellow ochre for highlights, if I remember correctly.
For the face,
Yeah.
yeah, it's burnt sienna,
Black.
red, but
Oh, red. Black. Man, I understood that.
yeah, because for the lighter skin tones, you want to use red with yellow ochre. So you use burnt sienna red and a little bit of black just to mute it.
Okay. No white, right?
Oh yeah, no white. No white anywhere. That's essential that you never use white on your initial wash layer. I am gonna have to use white over this because I went too far. But maybe I won't. We'll see. I don't really know exactly how this will go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask you again. So you said burnt sienna, cad, and what was the third one?
Burnt sienna, cat, and black. Just a tiny little bit of
Okay.
black.
Sorry about that.
only using the black just to mute it.
Yeah.
And then, I went way too dark with mine. This is what my mixture looked like. And I thought it would, that's my blue. I thought it was going to work really well. It went on too thick and it blew up the base, so. Alfredino says, do any of you guys use reference to get values with a pencil? I didn't for this one, but I certainly wouldn't be above it at all. Absolutely.
I didn't, but I did cheat before the stream, so I was so nervous. I practiced what shading I was going to employ, just so that I had that in my head. I didn't want to be fumbling around. Dave is an absolute master at light and shadow. I think it's a language for David, and I was a lot more nervous, so I cheated a little bit before the stream.
Yeah. Definitely since I would use the white pencil toward the end, it should make it pop, and it absolutely would. You really, if you were better than me at this stage for sure, you could really just add detail, like add a few things with white pencil and it would totally pop. Mine's a bit of a mess. Eric is actually much cleaner with things because you're more patient than I am. You really are. So, yeah. Brett Scott says, these look great, guys. And you didn't go too dark. And actually, just a minute ago, Eric Scott said, or asked how long this was going to go. I don't know.
It could go on for a long time.
Yeah, I want to do this until we're done. It will be up on the channel. This could be 4 hours, and if it is, then if you decide at some point, I don't blame you at all, this is way too much, you can come in later on and just kind of skip through. So, but yeah, this is kind of the process here, so it's always a challenge, Eric. I want it to be entertaining.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't be entertaining and do something I have no idea how to do at the same time. Sheldon Martin says, all night long. Yeah, for sure. And see, I would say for me, that's too orange.
Okay.
But I don't think, like, when you're putting it on, I think it actually looks really good. And when you like yours is so much more, you have a much, I don't know, fresher, more saturated palette, which I really like. I just tend to like kind of darker, grungier stuff, I guess. So I would.
Yeah, the nice thing about going very dark with the flesh is that that's going to be your, if you're too dark, then use that as your shadow,
Yeah.
And that's a problem I've had before, again, it's just not going dark enough, just being too scary.
Yeah. Well, you're getting pretty far with your scare, so I'm going to go ahead and start to do my second layer of pencil.
Yeah, I'm going to do that next.
Notice how much I can make this.
Oh, so they're gonna do more pencils on top?
I say painting with air quotes.
Okay, so they're doing more pencils on top of the acrylic.
Inside the mouth, I want to be dark.
So maybe just like whatever kind of got washed out, they want to bring out a little bit more. So it's obviously going to be less color pencil than the first time. But yeah, just to redefine the wash.
And this is where
Okay.
Ariel is using paint to do this, which I think, obviously, who might say it's not working? Clearly, it's working. I mean, this stuff is beautiful. I feel more comfortable doing it this way, and it's working, right? And I think that's all that matters. In the end, this is working for me. You might try this and hate it. All of this you might try, or not just that. You might decide that all in all, this is just not the look you want.
So Dave, something that almost happened to me is what happened last session that we had was with the colored pencil. The reason why you want a lot of tooth, I kind of pushed too hard here, and that can pick up some of your acrylic. And it almost happened tonight. If you have the tooth, you can just lightly, very lightly go over it, and already, you can notice the tone change. Yeah. But I almost made that mistake again.
Yeah. I wanted to too. Another thing that Eric and I have been talking about, and we're going to experiment with, and it just makes sense, is using different colors than just black. We decided
Yeah, painting is all about these variables, and if you start introducing more, it's it can go pear shaped pretty quick.
All right. Looks like
I don't know.
I gotta go put on some coffee. Where's my BRB sign? Where is my BRB sign?
We came here for the painting.
Uh-oh. There you are. Hiding from me. How dare you? I'll be right
I
back.
guess what we guessed about
Let me,
that's
I'm gonna go put on a pot of coffee.
anything can happen. We still have to
And yeah, you can
second scariest is the water. The
look
scariest
at this
is
drawing
the lighting. So
while I go do that.
things can really change. So you said 3 hours, but yeah, it's too much. Let's see. Yeah. Pear shapes is from the Orient. Pilots would screw up their newts and they would go pear shapes instead of round. Well, thank you very much, Gordon.
Yeah. I've learned that for years.
That's how you make it now.
Charles Petrie says, "Do you have a painting?" This is
Uh,
a Gilligan Island painting.
This is a good question. Dave, how much layering of pencil can be applied before the paper becomes unstable?
Infinite. One thing I will say though is that if you have a very thick, like a full thick layer of paint, you can't use color pencil on it because it's like painting on plastic. So as long as all of your layers are individually very thin, you can just keep going. And if you really press down on color pencil, it's very difficult to get more color pencil to go on it. You can get paint to go on it, but you won't be able. Like I'm going really dark here. If I wanted to use white to just bring that out, it would be very hard.
It is possible for acrylic to crack, but since we're gazing, I mean, you can glaze with house and number.
And a little bit of matte medium, if you just glaze just with pure matte medium, that will actually bring just a little bit of surface back, just a bit, and it's not that you can. Now, I don't worry about it too much because if I can't get color pencil, if I just use paint.
There's another saying in the gospel. Alright. So I did one more, but then I realized I didn't do the dark blue on the shield. Now it is possible to do this without medium, but you really have to be careful. If you water down your acrylic too much, basically the binder will fail and your paint will crack and do all kinds of weird stuff. So it is possible to over dilute. As a matter of fact, I think it's possible to over dilute with medium too, but I think you really have to do a bunch for it to become a problem.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've definitely tried to move them all. That's
I'm gonna go lighter with this glaze because I think my values are about there. I just want to put a bit of color on the black. hopefully everyone's following along and having fun at least. Definitely it's fun. It's just like tactile. There's so many parts to it. I mean, the drawing, the shading, and the painting. It's always a good time. So do you feel like it's getting a bit better than the last time you tried it?
A little bit. As much as I kind of got messy and really modeled, I didn't end up so dark that I can't even see what I have. So yeah, I'm a little concerned about the face though. This is the first time I've tried to do more of a warm skin tone in the black. It's not the choice I would make. Ideally, I would probably. I think what's gonna end up happening is I'll other glaze over it just to soften that black a little bit. That's my biggest concern right now. And I might do that actually here too. It might not be a bad idea. But for now, I'm just getting in my, just shoring up my black shapes. This right here means that all I need to do is just put in highlights and this will come together, believe it or not. Well, famous last words. I think it will.
Yeah, I would say paintings have a tendency to scare you at some point, you know?
Yeah, go through an ugly phase. Now, they don't always. If you're Ariel Betty, for instance, there's no ugly phase.
Right.
We are not Ariel Betty, unfortunately.
Yeah, it would probably be about 45 minutes exercise for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's done with it. He's bored with it. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I've seen at conventions just, with that piece, it's just like super fast.
Yeah, so I feel like if nothing else, because like drawing, I mean, I can have drawings that don't work as well as others for sure, but I've done it enough that some of that magic you don't feel quite as much. So if nothing else, I drive you crazy, but at least you have the fun of discovery.
Absolutely.
I like Bob Ross saying that.
Yeah.
Nightmare says, Dave, are you a character designer? No, I am not. I've done it. Actually, quite a bit, but no, I'm not. Character design is a phenomenal. Really is. I strongly dislike doing it. I enjoy doing it for myself. But doing it for an art director, even the best of art directors, you do multiple iterations. I come up with a version that I like, but it's not what somebody else likes. And, I like to control it. Do a comic art where I'm not really art directed.
So Kenny asked actually a pretty good question here, and this is something you really need to be careful with. Hey Dave, for the white parts, do I just dilute white with medium and water?
No. For a wash, no, you can't use white because white paint is okay, and you'll end up just covering everything. So don't use white. Basically, what you want is white is always going to shift down to a gray or oh, and your sister, Lizelle says, just paying for my entertainment tonight. Well, thank you so much. You want to bias it towards your shadow color. So if you have a warm shadow color, then you're a gray. And this is actually going to be, it doesn't really look like it so much right now, but once I start adding in my more pure color, all of this is actually going to look much warmer. Right now it looks very, kind of drawn out and dreary. But
Yeah, what I will say for like highlights and that, I found that going opaque first will serve you better. You can start almost glazing white on top of what you put down already, but it gets really difficult. Mixing white with another color to fuchsia or whatever, but lighting's tricky.
yeah, my favorite method is I've had a lot of black mixed into everything here, and so I definitely prefer to, in my first color pass, I go just a little bit lighter. It still has a little bit of black. I don't really, like, I still want it to be muted. I don't want it to be a pure color. And then as I go up, I bring more and more pure color into it, so it's more saturated. I really like my lights to be more saturated, and it makes sense because um, when it's dark, you only really see black and white. You know, color is a result of light. So I really like it to be more saturated into light. It's for me, it's always a pet peeve when I work with colorists, and the shadows are really, really saturated. Paul Essence is, hey, Paul Essence is here. Says, could you do highlights at the end with white pastel pencils? Yeah, you absolutely could, for sure, definitely. I'm a little afraid of pastels, but yeah, so.
Yeah, whatever gets you to that end result.
Yeah. Charles Petrie says, I'd say don't worry about the ugly phase, just do it. Yeah, for sure. Now, bearing in mind, Charles, that we are on a live stream. You guys are all watching, so you know everybody's a little self-conscious. Well, we are anyway. Paradox G says, what's this technique called? Now, this is from Ariel Benny. We've been talking about that for while we've been doing this, but what it is really is just acrylic or colored pencil. That's entirely everything that's being used. So it's a colored pencil layer to begin, then some washes of acrylic. I use a little more colored pencil on top afterwards, and then a final paint layer where I paint in my face. And I do find using black everywhere on this layer, this is not would not be my first choice. I definitely want to start using color because it goes a little bit dead. And I think that would be why Ariel Olivetti doesn't do this. But I've got a whole range of colored pencils, so the next time we do it, I'd like to do this. Well, we're gonna do a little more practice behind the scenes here. And yeah, the next time I kind of want to update the technique.
Yeah, 18 point, I would say it's underpainting and glazing is what I'll go with here. Yeah, I mean, we definitely glaze it. I mean, you can glaze over any kind of tonal understructure. Some people use Copic markers, some people use paint.
All right, sorry about that, chat. There we go. I'm back. Brewed my coffee. Ate a sandwich. And I still have my second cup of coffee that I'll have to make in a bit. But until then, let me see what else I can do right now with this picture. Hopefully the video in the background provided some audio entertainment.
Yeah, I'm not totally watch this fit.
These guys talking about art.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna get it a bit darker. Sorry, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I'm finding putting a little bit of blue into my facial mix kind of desaturated and a bit of a. I think black probably would work just as well, but I've actually got a side light that's going to be here that I'm not even worrying about right now, so there's that too. It's all down side here, but get there. There. That's going to work a little bit better than the.
Yeah, I might glaze some blue over my skin a bit.
Mr. Wing says Eric is a Winter Soldier to Captain America. I'm not sure which. I think those are both compliments. We're gonna keep those compliments.
Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Wing.
Oh, hey, Gerald Lang is here. And I don't know if I mentioned anything, but Ken Wang's been here the whole time. But
Yeah, Kenny's actually been practicing before. I mean, since hearing about the stream, he's actually been very excited, experimenting, and getting all the materials and everything. So yeah, he's fully invested.
yeah, Gerald Lang is a phenomenal watercolor painter, and among many other things. And he just said that blue is the complement of flesh tone, which is totally true. Which is why it works so well. It worked better than black. So this is where I think continually, you really get quite a bit better at this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's you have to get past all the issues before you can start seeing results, and so all it is, I guess, is continued practice. Sorry, Dave, I'm gonna do one pass over the scan before I.
Adding a little bit more blue and darkening here.
Eric, do you have a channel too? I do, but it's yeah.
I didn't know you had a channel.
I do. I just I don't post any videos on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be why I didn't know.
So theoretically, yes, I have a channel.
Anyway, make sure I went so light with it, it's actually working kind of everywhere. I'm gonna slap it on everything. And I kind of like doing this because this is really biasing my red toward more of a blue. It's making it, for me, it is a little more character, and it can help bring my whole picture together just, just a little bit.
So Paul Essington makes a good point. Mix your color with gray for desaturation. That's what I did at work. And yeah, gray unites all colors.
Which is why, actually, Eric, sorry, Payne's gray is a phenomenal color because it is a transparent gray. So you're not having to use black really, really thin and just throw Payne's gray on it. I wanted to keep the color palette pretty simple and really, you know what I mean. But yeah, gray is really just really watered down black for a wash, or Payne's gray. But you, if you try and use gray with black and white, you'll end up with something big. Ferris Jamar says, hey, one of the best resources to read or review visually to implement the Payne's look of your work. FYI, both of you read Capullo of Rosetta Visceral Look. Any chance paintings go for sale? Thank you so much, and thanks for the comparison to Greg Capullo too. I'm a massive fan of. He's a great guy. Well, for me, I would say just in terms of inspiration, Simon Bisley is my absolute favorite. More so than Rosetta, that's probably sacrilege. Sacrilege, I don't care. I love Simon Bisley stuff. It just had so much energy to it. It's incredible. In terms of learning how to do this, I would say the technique that we're doing right now, you would be very, very well served to go to Ariel Olivetti's course on Domestica. He's a pro. This is his technique. We are actually doing a bit of a different version of it. So you would really be learning the exact technique that he's teaching. I think that'd be very valuable. You can pick and choose, which is what we did here. We kind of picked and chose a little bit the technique that we wanted to go with, but we certainly can't match his level of coordination. Tom McCart is here. Said, looks so good. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're in a bit of an ugly phase right now. Be a little more than Eric, but
I don't know. I'm struggling with a big timeline there.
you know what? I think you should follow Gerald Lang's advice and mix up a line. Yeah, just and really, really thin with it, and just give it a wash, and it'll kill it back.
Okay.
But really thin, and make sure it's more black than blue, like obviously.
Right. Okay.
Gerald Lang says basically it's present on steroids in terms of figure dynamics. Yeah, absolutely. It's like throwing out all of the rules of taste and everything, and making his own rules that nobody else can follow.
Oh, Give me 1 second.
Al Pacino says Ariel World of Editing is
Get this second cup of coffee.
so you do this tutorial on digital painting for the Wacom YouTube channel. That would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why this resonated with me so much, because for digital paintings, I like building that grayscale structure first. Yeah, I mean, once you have that, theoretically, everything should be taped. You know, I mean, that's really the hard part, is getting full tonality down. And I mean, this is kind of digital process traditionally, or traditional process digitally. But yeah, he's just as good digital as traditional.
Yeah, for sure. AC Osorio says, kudos both, having a blast watching the process. Hey, did you chance to see Andromeda Weaver and Blue Skin Barnes on the YouTube section? Yeah, you know, I actually did Blue Skin. Blue Skin is from my comic from 1997, a long time ago, called Ascension. And I did a picture of Blue Skin with Hellboy. So that one I've done. I've not done Andromeda, and I haven't drawn Andromeda probably in 20 years. So comic artist Kyle Hotz has built like a big Disney figure. He calls me dryer instead of Joe. And Kyle Hotz, I mentioned this a few times, but he is probably, even before I broke in, certainly was the most helpful artist for me and helping me, giving me information and encouragement. And I he was so big, so I'm glad I said nice things about him. Mr. Wing says, for a comic book production, going grayscale with color watches is most deadline friendly in my opinion. Absolutely, I cannot disagree with that for a second. So much faster than the way that we did this here. I did this because I can't do it. If I had to do color wash with gray, I'm the worst at it. It's a real struggle for me. So, you know, I'd like to think that I'm going to be painting. You know, I want to be doing this art thing. I want to be doing it for.
Oh, all right. Second coffee. Let's get a move on, right? Let's get a move on with this piece. Taking my sweet ass time. Oh, it's only been an hour. I feel like it's been like 2 hours. That's not so bad.
Really do like the textural look that I can get from pencil, especially with better paper than this. This paper, unfortunately, is smoother than I would like.
Sorry, David, I'm not holding you up big time here.
No, and it's looking better.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely muted it right down. Once you add light to it, I think that'll really work. Card says, sorry Dave, haven't been here for a very long time. I'm going to support as much as I can. I really appreciate it. It's just good to have you here, you know? Really, we all have lives, so it's good to see you here today.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. I'm excited to see how much he's improved. He was doing a lot of studies, so very good studies.
Yeah.
Hope he's kept that up.
Dylan Demarest says, your shield is a little small, Dave. Other than that, it looks really good. Thank you so much.
It's a frisbee.
Yeah, thank you for your time. You know what? It is probably a little small. And there's actually a commission that I did 15 years ago now. It's a while ago. And I did the shield, so it was small. It got posted online. And I get a little suit for that. And I don't see this stuff until it comes out. Like, you know, a lot of times I catch this stuff if I can, obviously, but sometimes you just miss it. Definitely miss that one. And it sounds like this time a little bit.
Should be some crimson now. Hoping it works.
Shabia, I'm sorry. Hopefully I said that right. It took me a second, but it says, hi, I love from Indonesia. Thank you so much for coming and watching. Al Perdino says, Dave, you should come up with a hashtag that people can use when they post their paintings on social media.
That's a good idea.
Yeah? I don't know how any of that stuff works.
When you post this one, Dave,
Yeah.
just create a hashtag. Create any hashtag. Call it DFH artist painting stream. And what Instagram does is it creates a petition for that hashtag.
Okay.
So that anyone else, if they post to it, it'll be visible. can see everyone's results. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Eric and I talked about opening it up so we could see some of the stuff that some of you guys are doing that you follow along, and I really would like to do that, but this is going to be such a long stream as it is, so we decided against it just because there's just not really time, but I'd love to see what you guys are doing with this. One thing that is nice, there are places where I went with black colored pencil on top of my tonal painting, and the black colored pencil kind of stands out badly. But then I can just put another layer of paint on it, and it kind of meshes it back into the painting.
And your reds are so good.
I just added a lot of black and a little bit of blue.
I'm gonna have to do that on the next glaze because I have problems with crimson. I mean, it's just.
It looks almost like pure red. You realize we're going to be here for the rest of our lives, so you slowly.
I know. You
You really need to, go.
Yeah. I'm gonna mix some black.
This is exactly what happened last week too. So last week, and this is what I mean. It's a journey, right? And last week, Eric, your blue last week actually took quite a while to build. This week, I think you really got something beautiful right away. But definitely red, you're still kind of inching up to a little bit.
Right.
And look, this is me saying this. I mean, it's kind of looking like somebody said it looked like an old playing card. So fancy as fuck.
It's faded over many years.
Yeah. Kevin Mandel says, "Good thing none of us have anywhere to be in Finch." Good thing. Pino says, "Don't worry, Dave, we can go all night." I'm glad. You know what? I'm having a great time, and I mean, we've done this a couple of times. I'm so afraid of doing this stream where we're just sitting here, and just working through something like this because I don't want to drive you guys bonkers, but I love doing it, so I'd love to do it more.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Rodrigo says, "Finch block fine art sounds cool." You know what? I'm using it.
Because it's cheating for the hashtag.
Finch Flock Fine Art.
I'm gonna feel like a moron writing it. I don't care. Eric Hoffman says, "What black colored pencils do you use?" I've used Prismacolor, but it's smudge a lot. That's interesting. My other one, I think, is a Prismacolor, and I didn't have that problem. I find my paint layer can pick it up a little bit. If you do feel like you're smudging too much, first of all, I wouldn't worry about it because that black kind of smudging around actually, I think, adds a little bit of character. I like it. And when you put in the lights, you'll be surprised how much you can pop it back out. But if you are concerned about that, you can always use reworkable. Forget my language. Eric, you know what I'm talking about?
Fixative?
Reworkable fixative. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's really bad on saying it sounds right.
Yeah, you could always put a layer of fixative on top of things and then go over the fixative with some more medium and
Workable fixative.
not worry about the
You put some of this on it, and
blending.
you'll seal a layer. You could actually
Yeah.
put this on watercolor. So if you wanted to do this and you're more comfortable with watercolor, you could do this with watercolor, seal it with this, it would work just like acrylic. Okay. I think. Maybe you'll put me on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at when while I'm watching them, I'm thinking about how this applies to watercolor paint. Since acrylics are a water-based paint,
Yeah. What you just
it's not too different.
blue and black.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously acrylics and watercolors are going to react differently. It's just how different, if it's not too crazy, which I don't think it would be. But yeah, I'm already thinking of ways to.
Very smart. It says, Dave, have you went to team touring an art gallery of all your painting, comics, fantasy work? Viewing paintings are an entirely different experience in person. Uh, no, and thank you, but I don't really have that much. Also, generally speaking, I don't really hang on to my work. Like I just, for the most part, so I don't really have too many paintings.
Finally,
Perfect. Look at that. The little hand Luke says, new to your channel, love your art, cheers, thank you so much. Nailin says, good day, ladies and gents. First part says, where can you buy painting? Well, I sell all my art through essentialsequential.com. Generally speaking, I'm not the most up on. Um, Usually, what happens is I never really put it up for sale. I just get requests for it, and if somebody asks for a particular thing, that's when I sell it. I'm not the best about having that worked out. Joe Len says fixative works if using watercolor like acrylic with less water. Otherwise, it seals the paper.
Get some
less
more
water
lead out of this. There we go.
Spontaneousness to the pigment, which that is actually a really good point. If you're mixing and doing something with watercolor, you will totally eliminate the behavior of watercolor. That makes a lot of sense to me. So it's a very good point. I'm a little sad. I can see just how much work I've got ahead of me in that area right there. It's way too dark.
oh yeah, yeah. How you think you're gonna go about doing it?
I'm just gonna have to cover it with a cool paint.
Yeah.
Which is nasty says, which version of the Iron Man suit is in your Avengers 80 poster, David? I don't know. Avengers 80. Is that for new Avengers? Before I did new Avengers, I did an Avengers cover. It was the first time I had drawn Avengers, and that one was just based on reference that they sent, so I don't actually know. And shortly after that is when they came up with the new, more modern design that was designed by help me out here. Again, very good guy, good friend of mine.
Just repeat that again, David.
He designed the Iron Man costume.
A recent one?
Yeah. Good friends.
How you doing?
Addy Brown. Thank you. It's on its Bulldog art. And sorry, Addy, man.
Is that the superior Iron Man suit, or?
It's when I was doing a new Avengers, when I was just about to start, he had designed it, and so that was the costume that we all switched to. So yeah, people in the comments said it was Jimmy Reyes, it was Joe Q. No, not for that one. That was Addy. Marshall Hinson says, Dave, have you ever done a concept art for a mainstream superhero? Yeah, I have. Now, I've done designs for a bunch of superheroes that have been published. I wish I could say, like, I designed Batman's costume. That was his costume for about a year through all the books. So yeah, I've done different ones. But I think I can't say that I designed a costume that has ever been anywhere near as iconic as Hattie's. I even love from the UK. Can I please be unbanned from the Discord server? Says Hassim Latif. Now, I am not in charge of the Discord server, so I
I love when people get banned and I ask if they can be unbanned. It's like, what?
Herman Billingsley says, "Do you have a favorite comic character that you like to draw often?" Batman for sure. Moon Knight, Wolverine. I'd say those are my top three for male characters. For female characters, I would say it would be Wonder Woman, Rogue, Black Cat, Catwoman. Ferris Shamar says, "Dave, do you do commission paintings?" No, I don't. Sorry. Ozzy Brett says, "How was the process like for you on Moon Knight?" Ozzy, I got the first. I was coming off of Avengers, and I was looking for what I was going to do next, and we were talking about a couple of different projects. So I read the first two scripts for Avengers, and we were just in, and they were incredible. It was written by Charlie Houston, and he's a novelist, an incredible novelist. And so yeah, I was in when I saw the scripts. It was very action-packed, very dark. So it was a lot of fun, and we fought like crazy on that book, actually. Charlie Houston and I, probably more than I've ever fought with a writer, but he really knew what he wanted. He's very, very good. So I feel like, we've got a result I'm pretty happy with from it. But that's how it goes. When people are passionate about a character, I think sometimes you get best work on that.
Dave, I'm gonna do one more and then I'll pull in.
Okay. Richard M8422 says, "Have you ever drawn Adam West Batman, or more importantly, his Batmobile?" No, I have not. Yeah, no, I have never drawn either. That actually would be a lot of fun. I'm not sure how that would come out. It's so different than my natural aesthetic. Lisa Gozier says, "Dave, have you ever done Power Rangers?" Yes, I did a Power Rangers cover 4 years ago, something like that.
That was with Jimmy, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Ray. He was here with us in the chat tonight. He actually aimed that one. He's People in Comics. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm sure most of you guys know Jimmy. By the way, Jimmy has Dragon Rage, his creator-owned comic, up on Indiegogo. It's doing incredibly well. This is a second chance campaign. He was able to fund the first time, and they've got a bunch of extra stuff coming up for it. I've done 2 covers now, beautifully inked by Jimmy and colored by Andy Dollhouse. And
Colors are fantastic.
yeah, he did such a great job. Jazz Singh is an artist on the book. Is absolutely incredible. I think he's a rising star in the business. So, definitely, check it out. I want to say the links in the description. I was in such a hurry to do this one. There's no link in the description for this, but it is in a lot of my recent videos. I think it's in the description of my last live stream, and you can find it just by looking for Dragon Rage. Just type in Dragon Rage Indiegogo. I think that will work. Gerald Lang says, "Both pieces will sing and bind together once you guys do the lighting source." Well, I certainly hope so, Gerald, and I appreciate the vote of confidence.
In theory, we should go on.
Al Padrino says, "Jazz is already a star, Dave." Absolutely.
All right, Dave, I'm gonna do a final pencil and then we're good.
And Gerald says, "David, I sent Meredith a pic of your Dragon Rage cover I got. Thank you so much."
Woof.
So you finished? You ready?
Excuse me.
Okay.
You know what? I may have to on the white parts. I may have to add some blue glaze or something.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem lining that up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's already lit. Really. Most of it.
So what I'll do is, I would say go for it, Dave, and I'll take that shot. It's fine. I don't want to keep you waiting anymore.
Lego Batman guy, and I saw a question just a minute ago about. He asked if we watched the Zack Snyder Justice League, and I have not actually yet. Which I just watched one of the greatest movies of all time last night while I was working. Alita, Battle Angel Alita.
So you watched it?
I love that movie.
Good. Great movie.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
That's a scary thought.
It really is. Okay, so I'm gonna take, you know what? Show you guys what I'm dealing with my palette here. It's a real mess, but I'm just gonna dip out a little more blue. At this point now, and that blue is so strong. Phthalo blue is very, very strong, so you don't need much. So I've got my white, and all this is below is dry, so I can put it right on top there. And my black is still a little bit, it's good, so if I want to keep it a little muted, I should be fine. And I'm going to start with the blue of his outfit. And so what I'm going to do, actually, let me do this here too. I'm going to take some blue, I'll just put it here. Need some black. Way too much black, again, every single time. I'm so afraid of the blue. Now I'm going to take some white, and this will make it opaque. And you can see right away it becomes very opaque the minute you add white. I'm going to add some medium. And you can see on top of some of what I was mixing earlier, I think it might be good. Make some room here. You know what? I don't like this brush as much as the one I was using last week. I thought it might work a little better. Not like that. So I'm going to use this one.
There we go. Oh, fucking up. Getting lost. Getting lost in the sauce. Hold on.
I just feel like I have a little more control with this. And what I want to avoid is using a really, really thin, tiny little brush to be here until we all roll and die.
I'm guessing blue and burnt sienna
For what?
for the white.
Blue and black.
Okay.
Okay, so now after
Now,
he did the second layer of colored pencils, he's going back to painting, and he's using a lighter color to highlight
yeah.
some of the areas. And I use the word highlight loosely, like he's just using a lighter color. So obviously the lighter color is bringing out the lighting, I guess. What's being lit. Yeah, he spent some time away from it, letting the other guy catch up. So yeah, he hasn't made any progress on the painting since the second level of color pencils. It's kind of what I've been waiting for to see what he does. But yeah, you can imagine how muddy everything gets. It's just like my pieces when I'm in the middle of working on them and they get like muddy and blurry and things like that. That's where his was. Did the second layer of colored pencils, kind of brought a little bit back, but it got darker, and now he's using a lighter paint color to kind of highlight the mud a bit to start bringing the form back. So yeah, there's always an ugly portion of every piece. Like every piece always has that struggle.
Yeah, okay.
I know I'll be able to talk again in a minute, but right now, I'm like, no, it's all gonna fall apart.
That's me. I'm started sweating again. Trying to knock this white down.
I feel like this is what I know everybody goes through when you're drawing and you don't do it as much. And I've been doing it for so long, I've kind of forgot that feeling. And you think, yeah, it's easy, It is not so easy when you don't do it much. It is easy, and this is easy, but there's just so many pitfalls that you have to learn. And so this is my first layer of light. I'm just a little bit lighter than my background.
Yeah.
Not too much. And I can bring it up from here.
Yeah.
also can glaze with this. If I do the two, so that might happen. Jen, Dan, Genovese says, it seemed to me when you said that, how going to light in the beginning can make it more challenging when adding highlights. Going too light, yeah, it certainly can. I don't know what
Facing now. Uphill battle. I think it's probably the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, it's all recoverable, but if you are not really prepared for it and aware of how to fix it, yeah, it's. But this is where I think you have to do. I don't know how many paintings, whatever. To, you know, I think what's interesting about acrylics too, and you have to kind of be aware of is, I'm getting a little bit. And this is all my paint is just soaking into the paper, so maybe mix a little more actually. A little bit of blue. Trying to get a little bit of black. I went too black last time. And that's not my white, that's my white. Okay, medium. I don't want it to be so thick, so I'm still gonna add a little bit of water. And that's about where I was before. I feel like I'm pretty close. That's such a difficult thing for me to do, is get the same tone after I remix more paint, but I guess the benefit of that is you get more variation in your picture, And something to really be aware of, I don't know if you noticed this, but this all was much lighter when I first put it on. You can see it's lighter here, where I'm painting right now. Acrylic paint darkens when it dries.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm kind of throw you a little bit.
I see what he's saying. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, because that lighter color all of a sudden isn't as bright as it was. It must be because it's wet, so the wetness is catching the light a little bit differently. So once it dries, it's not like reflecting light anymore. So then you're just getting the color for what it is, which is what separates acrylic from oils. Oils pretty much stay
This is
wet.
why I really wasn't too worried about my stuff being too muddled underneath here, because I knew it was going to be covering a lot of this. Shabar says, asks how much color theory I feel like applies to my work and how much of it is I feel. You know what? There's certainly color theory. I would say my biggest understanding of color theory, and how much my sizing is so bad. You know what? My biggest understanding of color theory is I really like things to be more saturated toward the light. And I find that black is a very effective way to kill colors. So I use it all over the place. That said, I got a better result with blue over the face. So I need to learn more. And this is where, Gerald Lang, who's in the chat here, really knows what he's doing with color. Certainly far more than I do. And that's where you're going to get a better result, because for Gerald, if he's painting and he wants to get a particular effect, he's got that in his toolbox, and I just don't to that extent. So
Yeah, you can drive yourself crazy with color theory.
You can, and
Yep.
you're much newer to painting than I am, so like using like opening your red was a real challenge. And once you got it, it looked great. It just worked.
Yeah.
But you, yeah, definitely struggled with that, and I don't think you ever will again. And that's how it goes, you know.
Right.
Here, let me try to get this sharper. Okay, that works.
And if you feel like your color's a little bit too intense, you can always dab it. Finger and kind of
All right.
that.
Now to start rendering.
Chair started squeaking.
It's all over.
Well, let me clean up some areas. There we go.
And this is a place for me right now. I'm kind of looking back, and there are places where I feel like my black is too heavy, and it's kind of standing out a little. So I'm just kind of covering it with my feet.
But you know what? Let me use these other two to kind of clean up the outsides a bit. Let me get this centered onto the screen. Now, I wonder if I can like lower this. Did I never lower this in the beginning of the video? Why is this so far away from me? Or is it just because it's the bottom of the page?
Didn't realize he said I usually figure it work. Yeah, it totally does. It's like magic.
So it's at the fade.
Yeah, just to like, dab it back, feed it. Yeah, you have to be quick about it, but yeah. And this is going to be the hardest part, this first layer, because the second, I won't have to cover as much ground. So I'm going to build to a more of a highlight.
Ooh, missed a spot. Why doesn't this book stay in place? There we go. Whoops, knocking the camera. Oh yeah, look at me. I think I'm missing a spot over here as well. I was looking at that when I was working on it too. I was like, don't forget that. There we go. Continue. Well, is there any big spots? No, I think they all start to get a little bit tighter. So let me downsize the white. Whoops. There we go.
So I'm getting the kind of right amount of dryness to my brush, and it's kind of allowing me to start to fade into my darks just a little bit more effectively. So I'm doing that right now. I'm going to want to angle this side here is going to be lighter. I want it to be a bit of a different color, but for right now, I'm just going to put in my local color because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So work that out later.
Not the doggy face.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, Eric, with an intimidating drawing next to David Finch, I'll let you answer that one. I think you know the answer.
You have me answer that?
Huh? No, I'll have Draw Ninja KC answer. I think he knows the answer to that question. It's very intimidating, but it is heaps of fun. It is a lot of fun. And yeah, it's always a blast. Always good. Thoroughly enjoy myself.
So what I'm doing right now, I've got a much more saturated blue and a little more white to it, and keep going up. I don't really want any black in there to kill it back now. I want more color. And this is the color I had here, and that's too light. So now I'm going to take it and just mix it back with some of the color I had originally. And we'll see. I think that should do it. I was off the thing the whole time I did that. Sorry. All right, here we go.
Gerald Lang, using blue in the face for shadows is perfect. It shows the transparency of the pigment and our natural skin color. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so effective. This is what you can't replace somebody that really knows what they're doing, watching you and suggesting things as you go along. No replacement.
Yeah, so going back to the saying that it's I mean, yeah, David's helped me so much, just improve very, very quickly. And yeah, having someone point out as you're drawing or as you're painting is incredibly helpful. I mean, Dave, even your tip for me for throwing more confident lines,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't really have known that unless David pointed it out, because I don't generally draw in front of everyone. But David saw that. And
It's super intimidating drawing in front of people, man.
Yeah, it really made a difference.
You know, I dread it a lot of times when I come onto this stream and start drawing because, one, it's like I say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'd hate to make a fool of myself while working on this stuff. So yeah, it's intimidating. Even though no one's here, I think I may have one viewer on right now. Shout out to them. How you doing? Thanks for being here. But even if I have 0 right now, it's still scary because I post this stuff, it goes to the world, and then I backlog it onto YouTube. And I mean, part of it is to get over that fear. Like, you got to do it, or you just live in fear for the rest of your life of like, oh, so what? Am I never going to stream? It's like, no, I want to stream, so I do it. But it's scary.
tell you what, I mean, the benefit of the video next to me here, I can. It's a nice way to zoom out and pick the values
So yeah, I mean it's intimidating because it's like
Because the tone really changes as it dries as well. It really, really does. Yeah, something that can be a little difficult to get used to.
Also, when you varnish the painting at the end, that actually makes it more vibrant again.
Yeah.
So it can it adds another dimension as well.
because I know that I'm not drawing like Captain America or Batman or anything that people can like see and compare my work to other people's work because I just work on my own stuff. So all my work just speaks for itself, and the quality of it is hard to kind of like quantify because it's like, well, I guess since it's your own stuff, it's cool, but you know, because I'm not as successful as a David Fincher or something like that, or as a Jim Lee, it's like, well, then, but how good are you? How good could I possibly be if I'm not as good as them? Like, because I'm not them, you know what I mean? I, as of right now, it's like I got 24
So
people.
when you draw, you always check both sides for correctness. So that it's also correct in the mirrored form because it's not always possible to do. Um, I tried to. I don't know what you mean by not always possible. If you mean not having a mirror, you can always hold your work up to the to the light. So you can put on a window, have the light shine through. You can turn the paper upside down, which is another way. So you don't always need a mirror. So you can definitely, as long as you just change the orientation from what you normally look at, then that'll achieve the same effect that using a mirror.
Yeah. I never do it when I'm doing this, unfortunately, because I can't. But when I'm doing the actual work, I do all the time.
Clean it up some more. Let's keep going. But yeah, like as of right now, shit.
Some journalist, I don't know, but he actually did that, like right in front of the. I can't remember if he wasn't too happy with it or what his motivation at the time was, but he turned his paper upside down and fixed something and carried on.
Yeah, a lot of times what I'll do too is I'll just cover a little bit of it, and kind of isolates a section, and I see if that little section, like if I think maybe this is working, that's not, I can cover it. It can help.
Right there, I'm just gonna go in with this pencil and I'm gonna start highlighting. Fell behind, I was fighting with that red for way too long.
Well, these scales would take me so long, you got time. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Oh yeah, it's easy, no problem. We got Simon Kucher here.
Hey Dave, great screen. How do you decide what areas to highlight? I know the basics of it, but somehow it doesn't feel right in practice. Thank you so much.
Well, I've got my main light coming from toward him and from the left, which is a pretty standard light source for me. And to be totally honest, I am a little reluctant to play with my lighting too much for a painting that I'm doing in front of people. This is not something I've done before, so I'm kind of keeping it a little simple that way. And that really does take practice and some study to get to the point where you're comfortable lighting. Yeah, I would say the best way to go about it is to work with a single light source, and everything is volumetric. It has form, and where it turns towards light, it's going to be lighter, and where it turns away, it's going to be darker. And
There we go. So we cleaned up a little bit.
From other comic artists, and whatever the style is you want, you really need to take in influences to really
Oh yeah.
get better at it. It's not something you can do in a vacuum.
Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to use reference. It's, that's something that David helped me realize was, don't be afraid to use reference. We have all this stuff around us, use it. Cap is so loud.
Go. All right. Cleaned up. So hopefully this is a little bit clearer than it was before. I can do a before and after picture. That's where these pictures come in handy when I'm taking like all the steps that I take. Like you could see, this is where we were, and now this is where we are. So you can see all the red sketch lines at the very bottom, and now getting rid of them. Kind of just opens the picture up. Especially looking at his head and shoulders and the wrist of the robot, like those areas. I guess even in the fingers too, a little bit, but the fingers not so much. But yeah, that's where things like that come in handy. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's now let's start rendering.
So the scales are looking very nice, thank you. Though I must ask, why does Captain America have scales in the first place? Because he is a fish. I have no idea. It's a cool texture. And he's had scales for a long time. Long before my time, so I don't know what to tell you on that one. Because the original artist decided that none of us other artists had anything better to do than spend our life drawing scales.
Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Oh, that's not supposed to be purple. Whoops. Yeah, let me wipe that out. I'm getting a little froggy there. Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Ooh. Riffing with Griffin, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
This is by far the scariest part.
Let's see, what are they doing? It still looks like he's just applying the lighter blue paint.
Kevin McGuire is the one to blame for drawing every scale.
Who is?
Kevin McGuire.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, next time I see him, I'll know.
Why?
Why? He lives in Portland. Last time I was there, we had dinner at him and Meredith and I. It was great.
Great.
Yeah, it's
Need the world back to normal again.
yeah. All right. Let me go to my next level of lightness here. And I want it saturated.
Dry brush is really blessing me right now.
Oh yeah, it's looking great. Scar Arts and guys and painters are both incredible. Thank you so much, Brad. Come along. I'm feeling. Charles Petrie says 5 hours is a good start. Maybe if you have the time, regular summer. I missed what that was about. But yeah.
Oops.
What are we? 10:59. This is 3 hours in already, isn't it?
That was our original estimate,
Yeah. Much for that. If we knew what we were doing.
yeah. Yeah, no kidding. But I will say, from the last session we had, definitely, there's areas that have gotten easier, but there's definitely still some that I'm gonna have to work on. Some of the color mixing is just still off.
Okay.
Still gonna make it.
Derek?
Wow. Dave, have you ever tried Swamp Thing?
Well, I've drawn him in a comic. I just did a Swamp Thing cover not that long ago, actually. But I never painted him.
I would imagine that would be pretty nightmarish to paint. All its details. And
I think that's where you get out the paper towel and
yeah.
pretty well.
Yeah, so definitely the step that requires the most patience for sure.
Well, this is where I actually started enjoying myself.
Yeah.
The rest of it all, it really feels like a chore to me. This I enjoy.
You know what? Just for the sake of fun, let me just do this guy. Do this guy's color. I feel like I know what I'm gonna do with it now. Oof. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Thank you both so much. I still have a long way to go, but I feel like I've leveled up because of the stream. Well, good. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. Great. We all do.
Yeah, now the colors I'm going to be using on this guy, I guess, maybe not like super final. Like I haven't even really been thinking about them. It wasn't until I started this stream that I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to color him this color. But while I'm working on the robot, since he's kind of the focus, I was like, you know what? If I have to go with that color, um,
I don't want to. I don't want to touch it because I'm getting the perfect dry brush effect. And it's crying for help.
Yeah. Way too heavy with my.
Whatever.
Nothing did.
I may need to take a bio break here.
Did you say a bio break?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
Not supposed to say, hey, can you guys paint the Scarlet Witch on the next stream? That would be a lot of fun, actually.
It would be.
All right, I'm gonna go into the white. I'll do the red. Okay, do the red.
okay. So he did the second layer of paint with a slightly lighter blue, and now he's gonna do the red. So I'm guessing he's probably gonna choose like a brighter red and do kind of the same effect.
Moderator means every once in a while I look up and there's somebody going, you know. Having to like swim and
Oh, is there another one?
yeah. Are you guys light to dark or dark to light kind of painters? I kind of do both depending on confidence. I feel Dave Mack is the same way. I'm a dark to light. I'm not comfortable the other way.
Yeah, that's the same. It's a brain teaser going the other way.
exactly what I felt last week. I'm like, oh man, it's all falling apart all over. Hey, why aren't you paying for? This is why. You know what I'm doing.
Oh, so he's doing the white, not the red. Okay.
I'm gonna end up having to do some glazing on this, I think. Just over some, like my, yeah, it's gonna need some work. Right now. Well, you know what? Let me finish it. I might as well make it consistent, and then I'll glaze over it. There's the Dave. I like the top of the rig pack being shadowy, starting finishing across the top and bring it forward. All right.
I'm gonna take a break from blues for a bit.
Alright, what color?
Ultimately, I need a lot less contrast in this whole area, so I think I can take this and then knock the whole thing back and then give it another shot. I think it should look a little better. One mighty hour is going. Gotta go, fellas. Wish I could stay longer. You guys are the best chat ever.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Mighty, see you, Dave and Eric, and Plot.
This picture's finally starting to come together a little bit. That's what's up.
Scott says, hey, Eric, maybe it's just me, but the star doesn't seem perfectly in line with the rest of his chest. No, I think it looks in line with me.
Well, way beyond the point of return on that one.
Yeah, and that is absolutely definitely a thing. It's you know, once you get to this point of things and the drawing's not working, it's all over, man. Game over. Well, I learned my lesson. If I'm keeping something that's white, it's still like,
Man,
what's that?
I'm sorry, go ahead there.
Like his star actually worked out okay because I didn't really put anything underneath it. I really had some problems down here, so won't be doing that again. Hopefully.
Splash is one of the problem with this. Oh dear. This is what I'm worried about. This the base tone of the white is off, and I can't lighten it properly.
We're both running the same. See, we should have done Captain America. I've been beating this other guy this whole time. I never tried Captain America. George Pratt says sometimes you can't polish a turd in art. Yeah, you know, wise words.
There we go.
We're gonna keep polishing over there.
No, Ben, we can polish on.
We're gonna keep polishing. And ultimately, there's one thing I've learned with this whole process. I never have paintings that just work. It's always I always go through this where, it just things fall apart, and that's how you try and bring it back together.
Mm-hmm. You got to make the mistakes if you're ever gonna
I was genuinely hoping that it was
learn how to not make them.
for the live stream though.
And that makes the dad like crazy because it's just not working. Just gotta keep tracking.
Yeah. John into Casey says, okay, so I know you probably answered this question like 10 times tonight, but I'm a little late, so where's Meredith? No, actually, we haven't. Meredith, yeah, get her to do a 2-hour live stream once a week. That can be a challenge. So, getting Meredith to do, how many is this going to end up being for? Who knows? Yeah, there's no way.
And Jenna Mason says, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's that, Dory, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that one. Got kids. Mine are a little older. No sighing.
Yeah, this one is interesting. I'm just gonna have to noodle on this one for a while. If that's the term, I don't know.
Yes. Why not?
It is now. Who is the thumbnail for the stream?
It's my own character named Blight with a Y, which is how you know he's awesome. Y. Actually, he's Blight with a Y because Blight was already taken. So, and I like the name. But there you go. He's really a character I just came up with.
Okay.
How do you prevent line work from getting too murky? Sorry about the painting here. Just keep going over it with your black pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting technique I never utilized.
Adding that detail back or playing with it.
I never thought to re-put pencils on top after, you know, the pencil stage is over and I move on and I start working on other things. It's actually something I kind of started thinking about before I started this stream and before they started laying their second pencils. I was struggling yesterday when I got to the final stages of using the micro pen inking to bring out the definition in the fingers on the character here. And, you know, in other places as well. And I was just like, well, I don't want to use black because black is going to be a little bit too strong for what I want to achieve, but I still want to sharpen it from the muddiness that the markers created. And then all of a sudden it hit me like, hey, why don't you just go back to using pencils? And I told myself I would start doing that. And then I start watching this video. And in this video, they're talking about doing it. I was like, ah, shit. Like, at least I know I'm on the right track, but damn it, you know, it's nice to have a thought for yourself. And then, you know, of course someone else has already thought about it. There are no more unique ideas anymore, I guess. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, Gerald Bang. Push and pull of lights and dark values. Dark means bang, light brings forward. Yep. Constant pushing and pulling.
Oh, shit. Wrong color. Wrong color. There we go.
Hi, James. For coming.
Hey, where's my other gray marker?
Oscar, you're
Supposed to have two gray markers. Hold on. Where did that go now? Gray marker.
all about the added value here.
Hey, where's my gray marker at? Oh no. Oh, come on. Where did you go?
It's incredible, man.
Oh wow, look at all these. Look at all these white paint markers I have sitting around.
Pretty good, really. Nothing. What I would say right now is,
Alright,
I'm not feeling like myself yet. You know what I mean?
give me a second.
I,
I'll be right
I'm not
back.
happy with the white. I'm struggling with it, but I'm feeling like, okay, I can still kind of see where I want to go, and I can keep messing with it. I think I can get there.
Yeah. Really good.
And this is where I'm really just having to fully paint. Like I'm painting shadows and, you know, I'm getting, because I watched my drawing for this, and I had no way of really knowing that until I did it. I just never tried it for this kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
That's the piece I'm using.
Yeah, I had to do that earlier too. I was in a bit of a corner. But you wouldn't say you're struggling though.
Okay. I can't find my gray marker. See, I'm supposed to.
I'm feeling this right
I have this box here and I keep my neutral tones. So I have like a warm gray, two browns, and I have this one cool gray, but there's supposed to be a second cool gray marker.
I checked him back in before bed. Good night, everybody. Good night, George Arnold. Is that what I said? George? Get a little tight here. All right.
Oh my god, where'd it go? Oh well, I guess I'll find it eventually, I guess. It's a bummer. So yeah, which one is this? It's probably just hiding beneath something. Oh well.
from Seward is here. He said, almost forgot about the stream I've been waiting so long for. Well, you made it. You are 3.5 hours late. All right. Carl, Clicker says, okay, guys, I'm out. I'll catch up on the rest later. Thanks to all. Really love the stream. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming and watching. Hopefully, you can catch us later. Yeah, running long. Keith and I definitely running long.
God damn.
I think I'm actually going to finish out some of this with colored pencil rather than kill myself.
I'm gonna do his face and then glaze over the glove again. Hopefully that'll look much better. I'm a real struggle here. I'm gonna struggle less.
Yeah, my shield is. You know what? I'm going to finish out the shield. Yeah. Can't just leave it. Here.
So it was yellow, ochre, and white, correct? I believe that's what it was.
For what?
For the face.
Yellow for red and white.
Yeah.
Mostly yellow, yeah. Thank you so much. It's tomato freckening. The shield is unframed. Sorry, yeah. That's almost kind of on purpose. Well, that's not on purpose, but it really should be. All right, I'm gonna go in with the red. I am getting to a point where I need to start bringing it in just to start making this picture make a little bit more sense. and this is where I'm kind of, you know, end up paying for. I just don't have high quality red, so I won't be able to get the kind of intense colors that I will be able to with better quality paint.
Jesus. Okay, let's get this other picture in. All right, we're coming along. We got some decency here. It's not all doom and gloom. All right. See, the more things start to come together, the more they start to come together. You know, I always be so worried. You know, especially in these muddy stages that I'm in.
So, Jordan Stewart says, "It's looking great on stream. Red is quite nice. Thank you so much." Some colors like red really don't show up very strongly on darker colors too. Like this would be a much stronger red if it were white behind it, but I don't really want something completely blown out anyway. So
Right.
I think get more what I'm going for. You know?
That's looking amazing.
Yeah, Finch's painting is actually really fucking good. David Finch, go check him out if you haven't. If you don't know him, he has a YouTube page. It's David Finch, I believe. And yeah, in his recent posts, you could see those watercolor paintings that he's working on right now.
Saman Kusha says, Eric, did you use the same colors as Dave, or is it the amount of color being used the reason behind the difference between the feel of both of them? It really is. It's the same paint, except for you have a better red than I do, so I can't reach that level of lightness, and so I'm going to be a little bit, unfortunately, limited. So I'm going to have to kind of leave it fairly dark. I'm going to lighten it here, and it's okay for those pink because it's more reflective. The blue is the same, and it really is. It's and you can actually see the blue is really the same tone. I have more dark just because I've got the scales, so that definitely makes a difference. All right, I'm gonna get some yellow ochre, and you know what? Actually, if I do that, white. normally I would not want to go too light. Oh yeah, I'm off the screen here. I'm going a little bit light here, and so it's getting pink, which is something I really want to avoid. But on a reflective metal, it kind of works. I have to admit, Eric, I'm getting a little bit loose. I'm like, all right, I don't want to get done.
Yeah. Yeah, my wheels have safely fallen off a while ago.
And here I'm saying reflective, and now I'm going lighter on this too. You know what? It's just too dark. I don't know if that's gonna work. Is what it is. All right. I think it. You know what? It's coming together. It looks good. You were, you know, like that stomach looks great, and the difference between the light and the background color behind it, you really got that. That's something I lost just because I kind of lost my picture a little bit in here, but
Yeah, I think just starting off with the right wash, just even just bones from there.
yeah.
Um, that part definitely worked better. Yeah, that's getting amazing, dude. Oh, the scales are so good. They both have a Travis Charest feel. Oh man, if only.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So what am I? I gotta be coming up on 3 hours now. Yeah. So. There we go.
It's lit. So loud.
I'm using yellow ochre, red, and white for the skin. I actually put a little bit of blue in there. I did a little bit to fill it back for my first layer because I thought it was a little bit, you know, a little too much. And now I'm going with more of a pink, a little lighter. So no blue. I feel like it's a little light.
It's just so cool to me, David, how your sketch just transformed into that.
Hey, well,
It's amazing just you take a sketch and just absolutely just transform it to something like that. Looking real good.
thank you very much.
Yeah, so you lost the highlight of that glow. Did not work out like I thought it would. I can try and fade it a bit. So I'm gonna fix the A. Drawing a face is one thing. Coloring it and painting it.
Yes. A little different. True. It's so dry. I'm thinking I'm picking up paint.
down for the night. Looking good, Dave. I think yours looks like getting fabric. That's a good compliment. Eric, yours looks like Alex Corey. You're not going to be that is, sadly. Embarrassingly. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. See, Rick.
He's an Italian painter. He's very influenced by Simon Bisley. He's very, very good.
David, how do I rescue this glove?
Go over the whole thing with Lizard and Crimson.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like the whole thing.
Okay. You know, I was gonna put that same color of his white suit, quote unquote, into the shield, but I almost like that showing through the wash on the shield. I'm not being. I'm sorry.
I hit my camera with my forehead.
I've done it a few times. Yeah. Should I paint it in the same day, or should I just leave it with the wash?
The what?
The shield looks kind of cool with the wash.
Yeah, actually, I like it. The shield looks good. The glove, yeah, I would just go with like a thin layer of Lizard and Crimson.
Okay, cool.
Just to kind of darken it.
Part of the mistake I made was the pencil was the highlight.
Yikes.
Horrible. The pencil shining through a bit too much.
Some overkill.
Gee, well, I was in here an hour ago. They did not reply to this. Yeah, it changes quite a bit towards the end.
Sharpen that up.
Everyone, Kevin Manuel, everyone should definitely go back to the beginning of the stream just to see the actual magic that's happening here. David's drawing of cat had me impressed. Now my jaw is permanently on the floor. Absolutely.
All right, we have breached the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, I needed to do something about that. Okay, close another cat.
There we go.
Yeah, it seems like you took from the last thing, David,
Yeah.
of black, and just absolutely improved. And I didn't think it was possible, but
Well,
it looks crazy good.
well, thank you. I'm kind of losing a few things here and there, to be honest, I feel like, but it's part of it is I know we can't be here all night, so I'm trying to
Right.
through a little bit.
Yeah, this video's got to be ending soon, I imagine. I was hoping to be done with my stream before this video ended, but
You were ridiculously sensitive about a cane
I'm sorry?
You were ridiculously sensitive about a cane cap opening.
So loud.
Oh, that was a mistake.
forgot to do that. Where? Maybe I didn't. It's just that gray is so light. Or is there a darker gray, please?
Good night for film. Thank you.
Man, them guys got real quiet, man. See, at least I don't feel as bad now. Anytime I be getting quiet during the stream, it's like, yeah, that's what artists do. Now, if anybody were here joining me, talking with me, of course, I'd say something. But yeah. Oh wait, there's the color I already used. Where are you at? There we go. Yeah, these boys is quiet. I love it. So yeah, Finch is doing the white highlights with a colored pencil.
Aussie prayers. Eric's cap reminds me of my little brother's collectible vintage action figures that he would tell me to stop touching. I always played with them while he was at school. Awesome. You know, I was actually thinking the other day, I had a Captain America figurine as a kid, man. I loved that thing. And it just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know where it went.
You have a little brother?
No. No.
Come to think of it, I probably need to throw a little bit of this in there. Keep that blonde hair aesthetic going. Don't want to go too brown with it. A little bit of green in there.
Thanks, Dave. It looks incredible.
Hey, lost my pencil.
Oh, that's it. Now you can make a whole comic like this. Man.
Oh yeah. Not at all. I really thought, oh yeah, this is like so fast. I could do this in no time at all, and then you actually do it a little bit, and you run into a few pitfalls. It could get fast. I'll say that. And you know, this is.
Well, that's why the Arkham Asylum,
It's not been the easiest thing in the whole world.
Batman Arkham Asylum comic book is so good because they had one artist who painted every panel. Every panel was painted. I wish I'd be able to do that with my comic, but I'm just gonna stick with like pencils and inks for the most part. Like, you know, keep it to the manga aesthetic, and it's really only for time. I would love to paint it all, you know, and give that one feel.
This is the part here which you're brave. With no brisket or anything. Mommy. Are you gonna do any? Oh, you have some Fresnel lighting. That's some perfect lighting.
Whoops. It's a bit much.
What's more difficult, comic art or illustration arts?
It depends on your skill set, I think. Illustration art requires that you can paint, and it's a lot of skills that most comic artists, and I mean, I certainly don't have. I'm trying to learn it, so that makes it incredibly difficult. But I find most illustrators don't have the ability to tell a story with pictures, and there's a lot of skills that go into that. So it's not really such an easy comparison, I guess. They both have their challenges.
Yeah. So that was my problem is I didn't know how to tell a story. That's why I had to take 5 years off to learn how to tell one and write one. It's because I knew how to draw, but I didn't know how to bring story to it. That's what Finch said is absolutely true. I was always, a decent illustrator, but writing a story or bringing a story to my pictures.
Gotta wake up early for work tomorrow, but mesmerized by this, no regrets. Yeah, there we go.
Well, thank you for coming and watching for a while with us. Hope we can catch
Yeah.
the rest of it later on.
Yeah, I definitely want to see people tag it on Instagram. What was it tagged supposed to use? Was it El Padrino you mentioned it?
Yeah.
Finch Fine Arts.
Yeah, El Padrino, if you're still here, I think I saw you here. Yeah, you're here. What is that tag?
It'd be easy enough for us to go back and find. I mean, just go through
Yeah.
a 30
Finch Block, that's it. Finch Block Fine Art. There we go. I love it.
Okay.
So that's what you need to use, Dave, when you post it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Oh, yeah, Dave makes everyone feel bad as you use the big brush to outline. Yeah, that's a very dexterous hand.
Well, I missed a bunch of places too, but
Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Jose, then I'll just say Jose. How about that? Hot from Mexico, mind blowing art.
Thank you very much, Jose.
Alcadrina acrylic dries very quick. Yeah, sure does, and especially with glazing, it can still catch you unawares, but yeah, it dries pretty quick.
There we go.
Yeah, this is a good, yeah, very good question. 62 lefty blues. How do you know when to stop? Yeah, it's hard.
Once the whole thing falls apart,
Yeah.
you realize you should have quit an hour ago.
Yeah.
That's when you give up and go to bed.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see.
Dave's transcending, yeah, for sure. Alcadrina says it should be in the Louvre.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up?
Damn, even the small micron is
Nothing at all.
the small micro pen is still kind of fat for all this.
Jeffrey T. Sheesh, 4 hours.
So I'm gonna have to use this sparingly.
We were guessing 3, but it's very difficult to put a set time on it. Matthew Fuentes, David Finch. I'm not very good at paint, then shows up with awesome paint.
Well, thank you very much.
David should just do a series of paintings for Marvel or DC covers. Yeah, sure. So did me. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to folks using that tag on Instagram and seeing everyone's results.
Yeah, for sure.
But it doesn't have to be just from this evening, man. Just using this technique or practicing whatever. Just use that tag. It'll be good to see. The scales look so good. They look tactile.
They were heading to do, and I didn't really know how to light them, to be honest. I was a little
David, Eric, if you post this on Instagram, you should tag Ariel on it. I bet he would love these. Yep, good idea.
I don't know how to tag somebody.
Just do at and then Ariel on it. It'll bring it up and you can tag him on it. Just in your description, you can tag him on it. Speed bag boxer. Say that 10 times. Dave, I think this is the best piece I've ever seen from you. Why not?
Thank you. Very nice of you to say. It got a little rushed in the end, I gotta admit.
Yeah, you kind of hit a wall, right?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of work to do in the morning too.
Yeah.
And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh.
I got to beat it pretty early when I was home.
I love how they came out. I think the A on its head could be a little bright. Like there are some places in the white where it could go a little brighter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the A on its head for sure, definitely. But
Yeah, this blue threw me off bad.
you got a little bit. I know, and I started rushing in the end a little bit, so sorry about that. But are you gonna finish some of the places where still need like just like the A and a couple little highlights like that? Because I mean, that mask looks great. Like the light on his cheek and his nose, I think it really, really looks good.
Yeah, I can use a bit of white pencil.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Adam Westall, my new favorite person on the face of the earth, said, "I'm willing to bet one of the hardest parts about this painting process for Dave is weathering all the compliments." Well, thanks. I'll take that one. Very nice. Devinish, I'm sorry, Devinish Sharma said, "Please learn more videos on anatomy." Absolutely, yes. Definitely coming up.
It helps a little.
You know what? Keep going a little bit. I don't want to just stop. I want to. So let's. Yeah, actually, that's looking great.
And afterwards, I'll come in with the blanket and the water.
Okay.
What I love about when you go with the pencil over the mat, just the graininess just looks so cool.
Yeah, it really has it plays well.
There we go. It's a little bit better.
Well, Petrino says,
Where are we
"Thanks,
at?
Sheldon, tonight was such an awesome stream. Thank you so much."
So let's see what I've worked on so far, as you can see. 3, 4, 5, 6,
Swear on this channel. We're a family friendly channel over
10.
here.
Oh, so this is 10.
And also,
Shit.
no pressure for this whole watching nicely. So
Yeah, that's right.
I will say that my nerves now versus the beginning of the stream, I'm a lot calmer. So.
Oh yeah, I love actually.
Well, if this is going to be the 10th picture, then I might as well just finish it.
Yeah, that's very good for sure.
So, let's go.
Thank you so much, Trent. Finch and Frazetta both should have paintings in the Louvre. That's in all seriousness. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Very nice of you to say. I highly doubt it'll be in the Louvre anytime soon. That's alright.
Even Dave's Captain America is watching Eric. Says Jordan.
This is a problem.
Yikes, which way? Dan and Eric, I don't know if you caught what I said about Glowczewski colored pencil technique, but if you wanted to blend smoother, use lighter fluid. It eats away the way.
That so sounds like a Wilson technique. Absolutely.
Sebastian Adrian Cruz, 1.2K likes. The most successful live stream from your channel, Dave. We've made history.
Well, that's
Wow. I haven't really watched any, yeah, I haven't watched your channel or anything.
yeah, I kind of, I have to say, I figured for sure this one was gonna not really do as well, which is fine. It's, I really wanted to give it a speaking blast, so I was kind of okay with that. But that's amazing. That's really great. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Kevin Mandeville says, "Never mind, Lou. What do I need to get? I need you to get me. I can't talk. I'll be Eric. What do I need to do to get these on the wall, on my wall? Yeah, we're gonna have to maybe put them up on the website."
Did you enjoy this one, Dave? Looks like it.
Yeah, I did. There were parts I absolutely did not enjoy, but you know what? Every painting I do, look at this. This is how it goes. I go through a period where I just feel like, oh no, it's all falling apart, and then it kind of settles, and it's like I need a bit of a um, enough to go off of, and then I can start to play back and forth. Don't you feel like that, Eric?
Yeah, it's a point where you're like, why did I even start, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
then you just got to keep working it. You just got to keep, reinforcing the part. I mean, I find jumping around helps a lot. If I'm really struggling in one area, I'll just stop and go to another one, and then eventually you hit all those spots, and then it starts coming together a bit better.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, it's
I'm sorry.
maybe.
Oh, sorry, Eric.
Go ahead. No, I think maybe. There you go.
Okay, Feedback Monster says, Dave, could the shield have more of a shine to it? Would that be too much? It would not be too much. I stopped because I'm not using reference, and I think I actually had a picture of reference that I had on my computer kind of ready to go with a shield, but in the heat of the moment, I never got there. So I think if this was something like a cover or something like that, I would have the time to be able to stop and really work on the shield and details. Sorry, Eric.
That's all right. My sister asks, Eric, if you were to paint in the background, what color shade would you use? I don't know. I'd probably just go darker with, what was the color you go, you make me get burned umber, right? I'd probably use that a bunch.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to go darker with the background is so I can add rim lighting. And you can't really do that here. It just wouldn't work. Like if I were to take my colored pencil and actually make the dark side rim light, it just won't work too well.
Yeah, because with the background being light, it definitely.
Yeah. So the rule, light on dark, dark on light, right? If I were to put light here, this value's not it's not deep enough. So it's light next to light, and it breaks. And that's what will break the painting.
Barbarian says, now I want to have a try with paints, which is that's what it's all about. It's great. Yeah, it really is a blast, and it's frustrating too. And Trent Early has a super chat for $5. Thank you so much, Trent. Says also, thank you, Dave, for painting this amazing cap for me. So kind of you. LOL, joking, of course. Thanks for the stream. You're the best out there. Thank you so much, Trent. I really appreciate it. And thank you all. Eric, do you want to keep going with yours a little bit more, or you want to wrap up?
I'm good. All right. I know it's a pretty long one, but absolute pleasure. I had absolute blast.
Yeah, I'm almost done here as well.
Yeah, me too.
I hope everyone else did as well. I hope everyone's gonna work on their own paintings and again use that finish block fine art.
Yeah, I'm certainly gonna try that technique of going back and forth with mediums a little bit more. It's so funny that this stream happened as I had that thought.
I'm very curious to see what Rustics had come out of it.
And it's like, oh, okay, so now I get to see I get to see the practice done before I attempt it myself.
The shield looks great. It looks very painterly. Thank you very much. I mean, there could always be more. It started getting a little slack in there. I'll have to admit. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much. Let me, at least there. Thank you, everyone, so much. This was an absolute blast. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming and scary experience not having ever done anything in front of people like this. This was scary for me too. I mean, um, I've never painted in front of anybody before, so I really thought this might fall apart. The LA artist here. So yeah, it's good to see you at the end. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'll see you guys on Monday. That's not that far away. So everybody have a great weekend, and see you soon. Thank you.
See you, everyone.
All right, what video do I have next? Resident Evil 8 Village. Okay, so this is some Rad Brad.
Welcome back. You guys are amazing. I love playing Resident Evil games with you guys. It really is awesome. Been doing it ever since I think was 6 the first one I played on my channel, and then 7 obviously, and then 2 remake, 3 Nemesis remake, and now this one. So oh wait, Operation Raccoon City. Let's not forget. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Don't want this game quickly. Just keep up all the support. Really means a lot to me. Love you all. Let's get this. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support and art to the intro. Back here with our guy, the Duke. I kind of wonder, so if he knows the seller from, the merchant from before, obviously, he even said it's a long friend of his. I wonder the time frame in which that game happens versus something like this one. I don't know. Anyways, current inventory. Oh, let me show you guys something. I didn't know about the journal part of this game. Apparently you have a diary, and it kind of keeps tabs of everything that's happened. You guys can pause this if you need to. All this is what's happened up to this point. Anytime, like the castle chambers in front of the castle, it kind of shows like where we've been in the game. You also have the file types, which is labyrinths. Okay, we got 4 of those: the castle, the house on the hill, the water wheel, and the iron tower. You guess both. Any kind of notes it seems like you pick up, those get thrown there. Then we also have tips, which typewriters obviously, you know. I know you had use the ink ribbons in Resident Evil 2, stuff like that. I think a reference we've already seen. Yeah, we've already. Yeah, we have. Okay, just making sure. Not sure what gun to keep equipped. I don't see there's anything back here besides what we've already checked out. I think I just gotta go up the steps. All right. I think the last video I ended standing right here. I just want to double check something. I don't know if we had a knife in the demo, but I remember we were able to examine this and I thought it was lipstick. Can't adjust that at all either, so. Game is definitely eerie. I'm not gonna lie. I love the castle setting. I like kind of the vibe of the entire game. Now I don't know how it's gonna pan out in the end, but ultimately I have a lot of fun with it. I do want to check out. I want to make sure it's out. Okay. Now that everything kind of matters. Wine room. Okay, I remember this. Kip food. This is now. Here's a few things. There's other puzzles. We obviously know that that's not supposed to work. I'm just not sure if there's anything different because I wasn't expecting too much of a change from the demo to now, but there kind of was. So I'll do that. Perfect. There's a statue in there. It looks like. I think I saw that in the castle demo. Let me break this one up. No, okay. More gunpowder. I'm actually going to conserve gunpowder. I don't know which one of these does more damage. This was some kind of, I don't know if it's a pre-order type thing or what. They gave me a code and they said, here's some other code. I was like, all right, cool. It's all right. I don't know how powerful this Wesker pistol is versus anything else. I'll be honest, as far as the game goes, it's exactly what I was wanting. That first trailer they actually dropped, I was just yeah, I want more of that.
Maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know. First day working at the castle today. Talks to the other staff were all women. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I remember this. This daughter is very adamant they wouldn't bite. It's quite peculiar. All right, so you fast forward 2 weeks. The working the castle was afraid. Another maid, Adela made a mistake, and Miss Daniela slashed her face with a knife. And at night, I can hear wailing as it goes from the hall. I want to go home. I don't know what to do. The young ladies are complaining it was too hot. They crack the window. That's when the vampire kind of sneaks in. Oh, I have a theory about that. Now, I don't know if it's going to be true or not. Everything I'm doing right now is a, I guess, blind playthrough, obviously. Granted, this is just like a demo, so I kind of know where to go. But as far as the story goes, I'm speculating. This is like our first time seeing her. I don't know if you can. I mean, obviously, with some other stuff that's different, but that's sort of what her role is.
All right, let's call this one quits. Am I right?
I can only imagine her coming through a doorway and it's like we can't do anything. That's gonna be terrifying because you can't probably kill her. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Oh, but my theory is on the cover art for the game, which is kind of weird. I don't. I think it does have Chris on there. It has Chris. So obviously he plays a pivotal role in this game. I mean, obviously Ethan's the main character, but the art I've seen has like Chris and like the other half of his face is like glowing, looks like a werewolf almost. And I was thinking, okay, werewolves versus vampires. Lady
Undoorled.
vampire, obviously. You know, I don't know if it's like maybe Chris turns into a werewolf. It's a wild speculation, trust me. I know it sounds crazy, but you never know. You never know. I kind of want to make up.
Damn, we're going on a 4-hour stream for this one.
Cut for the.
Damn.
You can break that. No, you can't. Okay. Oh, this puzzle right here. Or if you can, I think you just walk it towards it.
Alrighty.
Miss. Oh, there we go.
Here, let me pause this video.
There we go.
Pause. Okay. Hell yeah, man. This one's looking mean. Well, at least now you get to see the pilot who's piloting this guy to do all these things. And yeah, this is another exciting character. He actually does get his own storyline. If you go to my Patreon, I have I talk about how there's some tangential stories or spin-offs, whatever you want to call them. And this guy is actually one of the main characters to those spin-offs. And yeah, it's exciting to show him. It's a little bit spoilery, but either way, I was gonna get to him eventually and all that other stuff. And you know, he is directly associated with this character that I'm working on here. Obviously, don't want to give away too much, but yeah, man, this is this one was fun, man. I'm glad I got this one out and on this page. And yeah, I'll revisit this character when it comes time for me to work on him, as well as all the other characters from his world and where he's from and things like that. And yeah, this is a dope one, man. I really enjoyed this. I hope this kind of gives some scale to the size of this character and what we've been dealing with you know, all this inking and the move set and all these things, even back when I was getting the colors wrong, or you know, the first test colors and everything like that, until I got you know, happy with here. But looking at this and looking at the scale of this guy and saying like that's his hand, and now coming here and saying, okay, this is his hand. Hopefully this serves as a good index to the size of this robot, is all I'm saying. And you know, kind of what we're dealing with here. It's super exciting. Hopefully, you know, hopefully this gets all of you kind of like interested. And either way, yeah, man, that's going to be the end of this. You have been watching the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. My website, gmrdrew.art. All of those links can be found in my homepage or my bio. So go there, check it out. You go to my website, links are there. You can see all the work that I've done there. If you wish to contact me, you know, you want to hire me, do some freelance and draw some things for you, that's we could do that. You could email me, or if you want to help and support me to work on this and, try to get it out a lot faster and a lot more, or anything like that, you can join my Patreon for as low as $1, and then starting at $3 a month, you get commissions from me. So if you have characters that you like or anything like that, or just want me to draw some characters for you, and you get to keep a digital copy. I know I have a tier for where I'll actually mail out the actual traditional piece, so that way you get to keep the original. Um, which is pretty cool. Or you could just hire me on Fiverr, G Mr. Drew on Fiverr, and I do freelance there. And there's the mailing option, and if you choose that, I'll, instead of emailing you a digital copy, I'll mail you the actual original piece, and you get to have something like this, hanging up on your wall if that's what you choose to do with it. Um, but yeah, everything I do, as far as commissions, they start at 4x6, and all these pieces that you see here on this page are all 3x3. So they're significantly smaller than the smallest commissions that I offer. So yeah, you can imagine how much detail, how cool it would be to get a character sketch, and how much detail and how much, better it'll look, where, I can't get this guy's facial features in and things like that at this size, but his face is smaller than my fingernail here. So, it is what it is. So yeah, commissions that they are open, man. So let me know. And yeah, man, I'll be back. Love y'all. Peace.